Hello grade 7, how are you doing? I hope that you are doing really good. Now, today we are going to start with the final revision of New Hello, and we all that New Hello just requires a little attention of you. You're so good, you can do it, so let's get started. Now, we are going to start with the listening part. So I'm going to read that part, and then while reading, try to answer the questions. All right? So listen carefully. This is a conversation between a woman and a shop assistant. A woman and a shop assistant. So you can take a screenshot of this question and then start answering it while I'm reading the script. All right? So let's start. Woman: hello, I'd like to buy a new phone. Assistant: certainly. Which phone would you like? The woman: I like this one. It's small enough to go in my bag too. I hope it's not too expensive. Assistant: no, it's a good price. Excuse me, could you tell me what job you do? Woman: well, I'm a person who takes photographs for a newspaper. Assistant: ah, you're a photographer, aren't you? Woman: that's right. So you can pause the video and replay this part again and then try answering the questions. Pause the video for a bit and then try answering yourselves. Now, 1. What does the woman want to buy? A newspaper. B, a new bag. C, a new phone. D, some photographs. So, what's the answer? If your answer is C, a new phone, you are correct. Now, let's move on to number 2. 2. The thing she decides to buy is A, large and expensive. B, small and expensive. C, small and cheap. D, large and cheap. So, what's your answer? If your answer is C, small and cheap, you are correct. Now let's move on to number 3. What does the assistant ask the woman about? A, her name. B, her job. C, her hobbies. D, the price. So, what do you think the right answer is? It is her job. Wonderful. Now let's move on to number 4. The woman is A, photographer. B, painter. C, journalist. D, doctor. So what's the woman doing? She's a photographer. She's a photographer. So these are the correct answers. If you got them all correct, you're great. You're ready for the test. Now let's move on to the audio script. Now again, you can snapshot this one just for your information. That's the script which I read a moment ago. All right. Question 2. All right, so complete the following dialogue. So that's the second question you can expect on the final exam. All right. So that is a conversation between two people, Tariq and Ali. All right. You're going to go to university in September, aren't you? Yes, but I go to university. I want to improve my English. Tariq: how are you going to do that? Ali, space, and then I'm going to travel to England in the summer holidays. Then I'm going to a language school. So, then, next, Tariq: why don't you go to the USA to learn English? In my American English is easier. Next, Ali: I'm not. It's expensive to go there. I'd rather go to London. Tariq, you went there before, didn't you? How was it there? Ali, it was really interesting. Now, pause the video for a couple of minutes, try to guess the missing words, and then move on with the video again, so that you compare your answers against the answers here and find out how many you got correct. For each correct answer, give yourself 1 mark. All right? Pause the video now if you will. Thank you. All right. So, for number 1, the missing word is before. The missing one is before. So, yes, but before I go to university, I want to improve my English. Number 2, what do you think the missing word is? First. First. We use first to sequence things, right? To put incidents or events in order. So first, then. First, then. You can use also second, third if you have many items on a list. What about number 3? So, what do you think the missing word is? Can you guess? Opinion. In my opinion. So, that is an expression to show that you want to say something according to what you think is right or not. All right. 4. I'm not. What do you think? I'm not sure. So, that's when you don't have the right information to say something, or the real or the true facts to talk about something. Next, 5. So, what do you think the right answer is? We can use these adjectives. Again, you can use other adjectives, but they have to be positive adjectives, right? It was great. It was fantastic. It was interesting. It was exciting. So, positive adjectives can be used here. Wonderful. Now, how many have you got correct? Again, for each correct point, give yourself 1 mark. Now, let's move on to the following question. The reading comprehension. So that's the 3rd question on the exam, right? I will read the passage really quickly, and then after that, pause the video, take a snapshot of this question, and then try to answer them on your own for a couple of minutes, and then come back again to check your answers. All right? So let's start. There are many beautiful mosques, but perhaps the most unusual is the Great Mosque in Mali, Africa. It is not made of bricks like most mosques. It's made of something called mud. This is the brown soil you often find at the bottom of a river. It's very soft in water. If you dry it, it becomes very hard. The building is usually very strong, but there's a problem. People must put new mud on the building every year. If they don't, it will collapse when it rains. There are always enough people to do this because the people who help get respect for their work. So, what's the main idea of the passage? What do you think? What does the passage talk about? What's the main idea here? It's an unusual mosque in Mali, Africa, which is in the first line. All right? That's your evidence. Okay? Do you think we should keep ancient buildings? Why or why not? Now use your own answer. We in Egypt have many, many ancient buildings. Why do you think we keep them? Why do you think we try to maintain them for future generations? Why do you think is that? Why do we spend millions of pounds to do that? So, write your opinion here. Again, that's your answer. So, there's no right or wrong answer, just your opinion. All right? Now, question 3. What's unusual about the Great Mosque in Mali? So, what's unusual there? It's made of mud. and it's here, right? So you have to go back to the passage, scan for the correct word or the correct answer. That is called scanning, guys. Scanning. We studied that many times before, right? So pay attention to that. 4. When it's dry, mud becomes, so again, scan the passage for the correct answer. It's hard and strong. All right, where is that? Here. Right? It becomes very hard. 5. What do you think the word collapse means? So, again, try to read the line where this verb is and then think of what it might mean to collapse. Does it mean to fall down, get bigger, disappear, turn to water? What do you think? It is fall down. So if something collapses, it falls down or it breaks to pieces. 6. The underlined word it refers to mud, Africa, Mali, the Great Mosque in Mali. So again, it, we find it here. That is a subject pronoun. So subject pronouns have to refer back to an antecedent. What is an antecedent? A real noun. So, what do you think it refers to? Does it refer to Africa, or the mud, or the country where the mosque is, or the Great Mosque itself? It refers to the Great Mosque in Mali. So, now, here are the answers. How many have you got correct? If you got them all correct, excellent job. Now, let's move on to the following question. All right, that question tests your vocabulary and grammar. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. 1. Most windows are made of, so A, wool, B, glass, C, cotton, D, paper. So what do you think most windows are made of? Look at the window at your home. What is it made of? It's made of glass. 2. You can usually paper, so don't throw it away. All right? A, recycle, B, cycle, C, heat, D, hit. So what do you think? First of all, what kind of word do we need here? You can usually, and then paper. What normally comes after can? A verb. Wonderful. All right. So now we identify the missing word, but then what verb do we need to use here? Recycle. Recycle is, again, use products in different shapes, all right, or different material, like plastic, for example. So plastic bottles are used, and when they are recycled, they go into other different products. Plastic chairs, for example, or desks, right? Now let's move on to number 3. We're going to go across Sinai, all right? A, trekking, B, tricking, C, fishing, D, swimming. So what do you think here? Many people, many tourists go to Sinai or across Sinai. So what is that activity called? What's it called? It's trekking. You go trekking. That's long distance walks or travels. You walk for long distances, especially in the desert or to explore jungles or forests. We don't have that in Egypt, but we have deserts or mountains. 4. We decide to play basketball at the sports. A, match, B, wheel, C, funfair, D, center. So what completes this collocation? Sports what? Sports center. Sports center. All right? 5. The teacher asked the students to work in pairs. That's a typo here, to work. All right? In pairs and a quiz. All right? What verb comes with quiz? A, throw, B, do, C, make, D, let. So, what do you think? It's do a quiz, to do a quiz. So, how many of these have you got correct? If you got them all correct, good for you. I know you can do that. Now, let's move on to the following 5. You have 10 points at this point. 6. The story is interesting. It. We need to complete that question tag. So, A, does. B, doesn't. C, isn't. D, is. So what do you think? The story is interesting. So, isn't it? So, the story is interesting, isn't it? Affirmative, negative. Negative, affirmative. Don't forget that rule of tag questions. 7. I hope we to the moon in the future. Well, A, will go. B, are going to go. C, went. D, going. What do you think? I hope we to the moon in the future. So what do you think? Will go. Again, that's just wishful thinking, right? Based on no evidence. So in this case, we use will go. Don't use are going to go, because that's not planned, right? Do you have a villa, for example, on the moon? No, right? 8. The old car is than the new car. A, noise. B, more noise. C, noisier. D, noisiest. That's a comparative form. Do you remember? Comparative. When we compare between two items or objects, what do we use this? We have than here. So the answer is C, noisier than. Noisier than. Because this, again, we cannot use more in this case. Why? Because it's a short adjective. It has only 2 syllables. Very good. 9. Children usually enjoy when they play on the beach. A, themselves. B, herself. C, ourselves. D, himself. We need a proper reflexive pronoun. Do you remember? Reflexive pronouns. All right, so what do you think? What suits the sentence here? Children. So if we replace children, what subject pronoun do we use? They. So they changes into themselves. Have you got it correct? Now, 10. Khalid went to the park 10 minutes. A, since. B, then. C, ago. D, next. So what is the most suitable word here? It's ago. Ago always comes at the end of a sentence. With which tense? Past simple. Past simple. The whole sentence is in the past simple. Very good. Now, read and correct the underlined words. So, these words are incorrect, are wrong. So, correct them. Again, pause the video. Again, try this on your own and then come back to compare your answers against these answers. All right? Let's get started. 1. If I feel tired, I usually will go to bed. So what do you think here? If conditional. If I feel tired, what tense is that? Is it the present simple? So, it's just go. I usually go. That is the zero conditional present simple in the if clause, and then present simple as well in the main clause or result clause. Very good. Now let's look at number 2. My uncle's a sailor. He works on a big ship. Big ship. Sailor? Is that a job someone do on a ship? So what's the right word? It is a sailor. A sailor, not a sailor. Very good. 3. A doctor is someone which looks after sick people. Which is not correct. So what is the correct relative pronoun? What do you think? It's who. Who is used with people. Which is with things. Right? Don't forget that. 4. Which animals which animals have a shell or a tail? A shell or a tail? So what do you think? Something's wrong with this word. What is the correct one? It is shell. It's shell, not shall. Shall is a modal verb. Cannot be used as a noun, but a shell is a shield or a cover. All right? It's a hard cover that covers some animals or sea animals. The writing, that's the last part of it. You have to write 70-ish to 80 or 85 maximum. Try to stick to that number of words. Don't go like all the way to 100 words or something, because that increases your mistakes as well, right? And focus on these points in your writing, right? That's just one paragraph, 4 to 5 sentences max, right? But while writing, focus on this. Start with a topic sentence. It's important to start with a topic sentence that summarizes the whole idea you're talking about. Write details on how to keep a beach clean, since this is the given topic, how to keep a beach clean. So think of 2 or 3 ideas. Each idea, write it within one sentence. So that is your paragraph, that's the details to talk about. And then write a short conclusion, that's basically one sentence. That would be all, right? All the best, guys. That's the end of the final revision. So take care, focus, wish you all the best.